It's time again for Oklahoma Sports Scene. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Billy Sims Barbecue Farm Shopping Center, 51st and Sheridan in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for your Oklahoma Sports Scene show statewide on Cox Channel 3, Your View, and of course on YouTube as well. Wednesdays, Fridays at 10:30, Saturday 11 p.m. We have all the feature interviews and special sports features I think you're really going to enjoy this week. In fact, let's take a look at this week's lineup. Bedlam recap. I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. Was that the craziest football game you've ever seen in your life? Oklahoma prevailed, but it wasn't easy. We're going to discuss it with a guy who was undefeated as an Oklahoma Sooner against the Cowboys. All-American John Roush back in the 1970s when the Oklahoma Sooners were, of course, ruling the college football world. And asked John, what's going on with this OU football team now? Get some of his thoughts on the season. And we'll have Grant Gower on from the Oklahoma Secondary Activity Association. He is the head of officials. We'll talk about a real lack of officials, numbers-wise, for the high school sports program. Talking about alternating some of the games, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays maybe, because that's short of officials. Want to listen to Grant and also how you might be involved and want to get involved in being an official to help out high school sports. Eric Kunkel, the head men's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, is in his first season, and he'll make an appearance right here on Oklahoma Sports TV with us on the set. Talk about the start for the Golden Hurricane this season, looking ahead to a busy December. A lot of games coming up at the Reynolds Center. He'll be followed by the ladies coach of the University of Tulsa, Angie Nupp. What a season she had last year. Her initial season, she started off only 10-0, took into a great winning record into the WNIT second round, and set all kinds of records for the University of Tulsa women's basketball. She's here in her second season, off to another good start, and she'll have a pretty big trophy with her already this season. Then we'll have Dr. Kevin Dukes here from Tulsa Bone and Joint. He's a specialist on shoulders. He'll bring a little model of a shoulder for us and talk about the shoulder surgeries, injuries, and what to do with rehab and things like that. So join us for that. I think you'll really like that tune. Let's turn back to some football you know more about, the college football. Take a look at our final four teams this past weekend. Of course, we had a much better weekend. It was better for OU anyway. Gosh, what a strange game. Bedlam, Oklahoma beating Oklahoma State in that contest 28-13 after getting off that 28-0 first quarter start. Then they stopped playing. Then OSU started playing. Then neither played. It was ugly. John Ross is going to be on pretty soon to talk about that game in more detail, and also in detail about this strange OU football season. They're finally with a winning record 6-5 and finally bowl eligible. One more game left to play Saturday at Texas Tech. Final week of the 2022 regular season is coming up, featuring Oklahoma State at home. They have their first 11 a.m. game of the season. They're taking on West Virginia in the Cowboys' first 11 a.m. game. It's on ESPN2. The Razorbacks, who destroyed Ole Miss, 42-27 last week, they will take on the Tigers at Mizzou on a Friday. That kickoff at 2:30 on CBS. OU finishes a night game in Lubbock, Texas against Texas Tech. That's 6:30 on FS1, Fox Sports 1. The University of Tulsa, they, of course, came back on their senior night. Big performance against South Florida, won that football game. They'll finish up their season on the road at Houston. AP football poll, after 11 weeks, only 4 teams are now unbeaten. All 4 with 11-0 records, including number 1 Georgia, number 2 Ohio State, number 3 Michigan, and of course, it's Ohio State and Michigan this week. The game at Ohio State in Columbus. Wild time, always a noon kickoff, 11 a.m. our time, to decide the Big Ten championship and likely who's going to be in the Final Four from the Big Ten Conference. What a rivalry that is, to the point where I was amazed. I went down to one of the games one time. All through Columbus, Ohio, they cross out any M. It makes no difference what the sign says. If there's an M in the sign, they cross it out. That's how much they can't stand they don't even say Michigan. They say that team up north. Great rivalry, Ohio State, Michigan. That's coming up this Saturday to decide the Big Ten championship. Also, after 11 weeks, the TCU Horned Frogs, the only undefeated team in the Big 12, at another 4-0. They're the ones that are going to probably head to the playoffs to represent the Big 12. And guess who moved up quite a bit? USC, after beating their rival, UCLA, last week, they've jumped all the way up to number 5, right on the cusp of trying to get in that Final Four for Lincoln Riley's team. There's now one on the verge of winning 11 games this season with our quarterback and our receiver, and you know that story. Tulsa Oilers update. The Oilers had a tough week. They did gain 1 point in a 4-3 overtime loss to Rapid City Rush at the BOK Center last Sunday. Now they head into a very busy Thanksgiving week. They play the Wichita Thunder. These guys meet 4 times, including the host Thunder on Black Friday, November 5th to be okay at 7:05, and have a Sunday afternoon game in Wichita. That's at 4:05. Remember, of course, purchase your Oilers season and group tickets, 918-632-PUCK, online, www.tulsaoilers.com. Major League Baseball handed out its postseason honors. The Cy Young Award winners both were unanimous. Justin Verlander, the pitcher for the world champion Houston Astros, and in the National League, the Cy Young Award went to the Miami Marlins' Sandy Alcantara. MVP honors, the New York Yankees, what a surprise. Aaron Judge, the home run king with 63 home runs, he won the American League MVP. And for the National League, you Cardinal fans like this, the MVP of the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals, Paul Goldschmidt. Well, it's Bedlam. Recap, I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. And John Roush, a former Sooner All-American, joins us to talk more about it. Now, straight ahead here on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
We're saying thank you, T-Town, for voting us Tulsa's best with $250,000 cash at Hard Rock Tulsa. Join us Fridays and Saturdays in November to be one of 24 players to win $10,000 cash. Earn entries daily at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite. Then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
The Tulsa Oilers are back on the ice. With a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. Save big on season tickets today. 2022-23 season. Tickets starting as low as $17 per month. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers are back.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
What happens when Rumble of the Oklahoma City Thunder takes on the two fellas and a big vehicle team on the court? They should leave it to a professional. And when it comes to moving the Thunder and all of Rumble's stuff, he should leave it to the professionals.
We got this. Let the pros from two fellas take it from here.
Well, Saturday night's Oklahoma State-Oklahoma game, of course, is called Bedlam. John Roush, former Oklahoma All-American offensive lineman back in my era in the 70s. John, I called it the good, the bad, and the ugly. That was some strange game. OU winning 28-13.
Had one of the best quarters that I'd seen in a couple of years. We've never started off that great in the first quarter. And before you know it, it's 28 points.
And incredible. They got the 28-0 lead, scored their first 4 possessions, and in the first quarter, 28 points, 299 yards of offense, 224 passing. Again, scored on 4 of the possessions right away there, and just dominant. And you think, wow, maybe that's a team we're missing all year, John. It just looked like a whole different football team.
I thought we were going to, take it to the end, and then something happened on both sides.
Gosh, it was just crazy. As after that came out and said is the bad and the ugly. OU after that was 1 of 14 on third downs, had 8 punts in the final 24 minutes. How does that happen?
It's a mystery.
It
seemed like OSU woke up and we went in a slumber. We couldn't block anybody. We weren't tackling as well as we were in the first quarter.
Well, you remember this guy. I think Sooner fans, I was covering the OU Sooners back then when John Roush was a consensus All-American, not only All-American on the field, but academic All-American as well. And with the Sooner teams in 1972 through 1974, he won 3 Big 8 championships, 1 national championship. It was a perfect 3-0 against Oklahoma State during that run, too. And, John, I remember that first year because I was involved with the Sooners in the 74, my first year down here, when you guys ran the table, won the national championship. And I always remember this, that You were one of the consensus All-Americans. And on that Oklahoma football team in 1974, never happened before or since, eight members of that football team were first-team All-American.
Yes, up to that point.
Yeah.
Any one college only had 3.
Gosh.
You know, everybody that plays wants to become an All-American.
Sure.
And guys older than me were saying, there's no way, Roush. Okay, I'm from Colorado.
Yeah.
Arvada, Colorado. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Yeah.
But, okay, before me, Jimbo Elrod, Randy Hughes, the Selman brothers.
That's right.
Tinker Owens, Rod Schote, Joe Washington, and a guy from Arvada, Colorado.
Golly. How did Barry Switzer get you out of Colorado?
Well, it was Gene Hoshaver.
Oh, sure, the old coach there, yeah.
Gene Hoshaver coached at Inglewood, Colorado when I was in high school.
Uh-huh.
And he had remembered me and started recruiting me when I was a junior.
I tell you, once you're recruited by OU and Barry Switzer, though, you're really family forever, aren't you?
Yes, yes. And, you know, Barry, he doesn't forget first names.
Unbelievable, yeah.
He has a great memory, unbelievable what he's done. And, you know, he'd change plays at halftime, and we'd go out and they'd work.
Hang half 100 on him, right? That was always his thing.
Yes.
All right, so now this OU team is finally bowl eligible at 6-5. A trip Saturday night, though, down to Lubbock, Texas, Texas Tech. Always a tough place to play. Those Tech fans get liquored up pretty good. Those tortillas are flying, John.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to expect?
Oh, man.
It's hard to. You don't know what's going to happen.
With this team especially. Yeah, I told people, John, I know the Sooner fans are so frustrated. I mean, 5-5. I told them, let's have a bet in Vegas. Who would have thought that the University of Kansas, the Jayhawks, would become bowl eligible before the Oklahoma Sooners? I mean, it's just been that crazy a season, hasn't it?
Yeah,
and that TCU is undefeated, number 4 in the nation. And I wasn't sure about that, but then I saw them play Texas. And they're a real deal.
Yeah, I mean, from one year to the next.
Incredible.
You know, the portal, the nil.
Yeah, right.
You know, has a factor, and you wonder what it's going to be like a year from now.
Wow, crazy. Well, I tell people, all right, if you jumped off the Sooner schooner, if you can't bring yourself to get on the orange side for Oklahoma State, I always say cheer for OU West. That's USC. They've got our coach, our quarterback, our receiver, and the top freshman running back who was all coming to OU.
Yes, that was a shocker.
It was.
People still haven't overcome that. And, you know, after the Texas game, they came out with that article. I had no idea we had lost at least 47 players from a year ago, plus maybe one coach returning.
Yeah. I mean, a whole new team. I was pointing the finger at Brandon, what's wrong? How do we just keep this rolling and stuff? But this team was gutted for the most part. They've done a heck of a job just keeping these guys on track, it looks like.
Oh, gosh, yeah. It was like starting it over.
Yeah.
It was.
And I also want to be sure to congratulate, mention, John, I was at that lunch in Oklahoma City this past week where John was honored as a Fellowship of Christian Athlete Hall of Champions inductee, and that's been a big part of your life and throughout your career. Yeah,
Chuck Bowman, who coached at McLean and then NEO, took over FCA in 1973. And we just bonded. And it's hard to refuse him.
You were his first staff hire too, weren't you?
I was his first staff hire, and it's just hard to refuse him when I was at OU, and you know, got Randy Hughes to go along with me and Steve Davis.
Yeah.
And, those were my two main guys, and Billy Severance, baseball player.
Right.
And you know, it developed a love between OSU and us.
Oh, it's great.
Because in the off season, you know, we're speaking together, and so.
I remember making some of those trips to hear Steve Davis speaking. His little plane, he'd fly us to those different things. John would meet with the athletes, and FCA is still going strong, and a great thing for the kids, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is. It was very important in my life, and it became real to me because in sports you face adversity almost every day.
Well, John Roush, All-American in every sense of the word, and again, Fellowship of Christian Athlete honoree. And John, bring your lovely wife, Ron, to come here and barbecue on Billy Sims for us. Be our guest.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks for being here. Great to see us, John. Great memories, huh?
Yes.
Both look the same as we did in '74, don't we? Thanks, John.
Thank you.
We're going to come right back with Grant Gower, the Director of Officials for the OSSAA, talk about a real crisis right now, a real lack of officials in high school sports. Straight ahead.
You did it, Tulsa. You name the team.
We named the team.
You name the team. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m., BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com to get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast pace, helmet hitting, pad popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine in, curbside, or carry out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
We're saying thank you, T-Town, for voting us Tulsa's best with $250,000 cash at Hard Rock Tulsa. Join us Fridays and Saturdays in November to be one of 24 players to win $10,000 cash. Earn entries daily at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite. Then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
Hi, I'm Dr. Caleb Nelly with Tulsa Bone & Joint in Owasso.
And I'm Dr. Ian Goodman with Tulsa Bone & Joint in Owasso, and we are your team physicians for the Owasso Rams.
I'm Zach McGinty.
I'm Kate Grady.
I'm Dexter Millsap.
And we are the athletic trainers for the Owasso Rams.
Here's some of the services that we provide in the Tulsa Bone & Joint Athletic Training Facility.
We move this weekend to some of the semifinal action of major high school football around the state of Oklahoma. There is a major shortage of officials in high school sports nationally and here in the state of Oklahoma. To address that crisis, we had a recent Zoom call with Grant Gower. He is the Director of Officials for the OSSAA in Oklahoma. At one point this season, in fact, the OSSAA had 2,140 registered officials. Usually that number is around 3,500. We asked Grant just why the shortage.
So there's a multitude of reasons that have contributed to the shortage. Some of it is, I hate to use the C word, but it is attributed back to some of the COVID situation. There were many that got out of officiating at that time, and actually in all vocations, and really haven't gone back into that. So that's part of that. Part of it is it is an ever increasing age-wise for our officials. The average age right now is 55 years of age for our officials in the state. And so there are more and more that are getting to that point in their career where it's not quite as feasible for them to be up and down the court, up and down the field. And so that's another part of that. And then unfortunately is some of the behaviors and some of the actions that have occurred with fans, players, coaches, situations that unfortunately you see all over the airwaves across the country. Those are part of the things that we face in Oklahoma, but again, it's everywhere across the USA.
Yeah, I know the OSSAA has really aggressively addressed this sportsmanship and some new limitations, some new things will crack down on these schools that don't feel like that has to affect officials, and it's not easy. I don't care where you are to hear some of the comments from some of the fans, some of the parents, and even sometimes some of the players and coaches.
It is, and that's the challenge because unfortunately the officiating profession is a thankless profession by so many people, and the reality of it is that if officials are not on the field, not on the court, not on the mat, then those events aren't taking place. And that's the other component that people have to really understand is if officials aren't there, then those games don't occur. And so that's something, as you mentioned, some of the sportsmanship aspect of that really made a concerted effort to try to address some of that with our schools and with some of the patrons that are attending.
I know many of our high schools are helping to address that by being more flexible when it comes to scheduling games too. Instead of having 5 games, Tulsa Public Schools on a Friday night. It requires all these officials stagger them to Thursday, maybe some Saturday games.
It is, and we've had several schools that have been able to move some of those games, because what that does, that allows a football group, or primarily what we're talking about, they can work at a site on Thursday night, a varsity game, and then a Friday night varsity game at another site, as opposed to having the multiple games on a Friday night. So those are some of the solutions that are out there, and and more of that is even needed as we continue to try to be creative and come up with some ways to still have those games with those officials.
Grant Gower is our guest, Director of Officials for the Oklahoma Secondary School Activity Association, OSSAA. And Grant, another thing we're concerned about, and the impact you mentioned on sportsmanship of this thing, now is your turn to do some recruiting. How can people, they want to get involved in this profession, they obviously have to love sports, love kids, that goes without saying, but what does it take to be an official? And I know you've made some adjustments to help cover some of the costs, cut some of the costs too.
Well, thanks for that, Chris, because whether there are an overabundance of officials or not quite as many, there is always that need, because when we start looking at it, most people think varsity wise, but we're also talking sub-varsity, where that's the freshman games, the junior varsity games, the middle school games. So there is that continual need at all different levels. And so when people think about entering the officiating world, it doesn't necessarily have to be that varsity level. Again, there's so many other components that we could utilize as a way to stay involved and stay active in activities and in sports. One of the best ways is go to our website at OSSAA.com. And on there is a tab that says officials, and you can go in there, click on it, and it will take you to the registration site. The way the registration works, you go on there, you click on that, and then it takes you through some of the registration process, through some of the testing process per sport. There's a $62 registration for per sport. And then there's also, if someone is registering in multiple sports, that's another $12 for each additional sport after that. So we have many of our officials that are multi-sport officials, whether it's a football, basketball, or wrestling, baseball, all kinds of varieties. And so it's a great way to stay involved in the game, because for so many of us, to be actually out on the field, out on the court, to be part of that's something that is rewarding. It's a brotherhood, a sisterhood that makes the officiating world what it is. Some great people from all walks of life, because obviously most officials, almost all officials, have another, their full-time job, if you will. And so it's a way to stay connected with people that love and being involved with activities.
Well, without a doubt, the Showcase 6A1 semifinals will be played Friday at Broken Arrow High School, as there'll be a rematch. And we're looking forward to this one of Bixby and Jenks. That'll be at 1 o'clock kickoff. Then at 7 o'clock, #1 undefeated Union that takes on Owasso in a rematch of a game they played earlier this season. Also, semifinals coming up in 5A, 4A, 3A, and the 2A and A classes get into their quarterfinal rounds. We'll have all the high school wrap-up for you next week. Some special guests on Oklahoma Sports Scene. When we come back, though, we're going to switch seasons. Let's go to basketball. Welcome in the new head basketball coach of the men's program at the University of Tulsa. Eric Kunkel is next.
You did it, Tulsa. You name the team. We name the team. You name the team. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m., BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com to get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast pace, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
We're saying thank you, T-Town, for voting us Tulsa's best with $250,000 cash at Hard Rock Tulsa. Join us Fridays and Saturdays in November to be one of 24 players to win $10,000 cash. Earn entries daily at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite. Then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
What happens when Rumble of the Oklahoma City Thunder takes on the two fellas and a big vehicle team on the court? They should leave it to a professional. And when it comes to moving the Thunder and all of Rumble's stuff, he should leave it to the professionals.
We got this. Let the pros from two fellas take it from here.
Well, on March 21st of this year, Eric Conkle was introduced as the University of Tulsa's 31st men's head basketball coach. Kansas Tulsa had a very successful 7 seasons at Louisiana Tech with a great 153-75 record there, and then really got his career off to a good start here at the University of Tulsa. Coach, welcome again to the Oklahoma sports scene, and how's it been getting this first season underway?
It's been great. Thanks for having me again, Chris. We're 5 games in. We've been able to learn a lot about our team throughout this young season already, through all the practices that we've had, and seen some improvement. We're just looking to continue on that path.
What are you most pleased with so far, Coach? And who are some of the playmakers that have kind of stepped forward?
Been most pleased just about our overall work ethic. We've got a number of guys that are really spending that extra time in the gym, working on their individual games. We've had a few injuries that have had to shuffle our lineup around a little bit, but you start with the guys that have most experience. Sam Griffin has been a key contributor, our leading scorer right now. Of course, was our leading returning scorer from last year, but has come off to a good start, shooting the basketball extremely well. Brandon Betts and Anthony Pritchard, those 2 other guards right there are contributing a lot. And then Brian Salabange in the front court. He's had some big games both in points and rebounds. So pleased from their contributions and everybody else.
Challenging opening schedule. I couldn't believe you tipped off at Oregon State. Big trip, big game, and boy, you had them on the ropes for a while.
We did. You know, in this young season, we've hit both coasts already. We've just played 3 games in South Carolina.
Right.
We started out in Oregon, played a great first half, Chris, in that first game. Just couldn't hang on in the end. And give credit to Oregon State for the way that they battled back. But again, first game on the road, Pac-12 school. They had a really good environment. Saw a lot of good things from our team. Of course, would have preferred to come away with that win.
Day after Thanksgiving, you make the short trip over to Stillwater and go against Oklahoma State. We know about the Cowboys. That should be a heck of a match, always is.
They are. And Coach Boynton's got a really good team over there. They're long, they're athletic, they really defend. They've got a number of guys that can score the ball. They've got a shot blocker on the interior. It's a 3-year deal with them. We're going to play at their place this year, then go to Oklahoma City and play there, and then they'll come to the Reynolds Center in year 3.
Exciting month of December ahead for you Golden Hurricane fans. Bunch of home games right there at the Reynolds Center.
Yeah, you know, unusual to only have 1 home game in November. It's just the way the schedule worked out this year. So we've been road warriors this month. But in the month of December, we'll have a number of home games, 4 non-conference games. Our first conference game after Christmas against Houston will occur at the Reynolds Center. So looking forward to being home in the month of December.
December the 3rd, the Mayor's Cup. Oral Roberts comes across town to take on the Golden Hurricane. Always great competitive, always going to be a city champion, so I'm sure the guys are looking forward to that.
It's a great game here in the city of Tulsa. Certainly a game that's been going on a long time, will continue to go on for a long time. Coach Mills has got another really good team, and looking forward to being a part of that game again.
Yeah, I see Coach Mills' Golden Eagles were picked to win the Summit League this year, in fact.
Very good team. He's got a lot of guys back, added a couple key transfers and freshmen. Got a lot of size with a guy over 7 feet in the interior, but of course just have a lot of guys back from a very good team.
All right, that's December the 3rd, Oral Roberts at the Mabee Center. Then December 4th, we have a home game. The 3rd, on the 7th rather, there's Detroit Mercy, the 10th Central Michigan, the 16th Mississippi Valley State, then a road trip after that. So some good games at the Reynolds Center.
Some really good games. Again, starting right there on December 3rd with Oral Roberts coming to us, and then we've got a number of other games. We will go on the road at Loyola Marymount right before Christmas. Give our guys a couple days, and then boom, we're right into conference play at home after that.
It's a long West Coast trip. Loyola Marymount always is a good team.
Very good team. They just want to. They beat Georgetown just recently. They're off to a very good start. This is a return game. They came to us last year, so we've got to return the game out to their place.
And then the American Athletic Conference gets underway, one of the best basketball conferences in the nation, Coach. I think you'd agree, top to bottom, it's getting stronger and stronger, led by Houston, that right now many people are picking to be in the national championship game.
Very, very strong. They just won a game out at Oregon by double figures. They've been really handling each one of their opponents up to this point, ranked, some people say number 1, number 2, a lot of people picking them to be tops. We'll play them twice this year, and we'll start conference play with them coming to our place, so we look forward to. We had a great crowd in our first game against Jackson State, and so appreciative of our fans and everybody for all that support, and want them to continue to come to the Reynolds Center all season long.
December 28th is that game with Houston coming here. You won't see a higher ranked basketball team probably all season. That'd be a game you want to circle and get there for that game, December 28th, right?
That's right. Yeah, first American Conference game here at home.
Then they go on the road pretty quickly after that, New Year's Day, in fact, down to Dallas to take on SMU.
Yes, and again, another strong SMU team. We've got a number of really good games. You look, as you said, top to bottom in the American Conference. So many really challenging teams. The teams that have been at the bottom in previous years are starting to creep their way towards the top. So many challenging games, which is great. That's a big reason to come to Tulsa and play in this league.
Eric Conkle, our first-year head basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, comes here from Louisiana Tech with a great record there. Coach, recruiting never ends, but with the portal, you have to recruit your own guys over and over again, it looks like, too. How about the portal and the NIL? How's that impacted your program?
Well, recruiting is something that we do every day, Chris, and we're very pleased with the 3 guys that we signed in the fall, 2 high school players and 1 junior college player. We went to the state of Tennessee, signed a very good player named Jared Hall, who's 6'8", 210 pounds, kind of that 3-4-ish type player. Matt Reed, a 6'9" post player from Carrollton, Texas. And then we went to the junior college ranks and down to Pearl River Community College for Carlos Williams, another 6'6" player. The portal is always going to be an important part of this. And so is NIL. And there's great opportunities for businesses to work with our players in that regard. But we always look at the term re-recruiting your players, I just look at it as creating an environment where the players feel safe, they feel valued, and they feel like they're improving. And University of Tulsa is an incredible place to go to school, a place to live, and a great place to play basketball as well.
How about recruiting the family? How's the family settled into Tulsa? Enjoying it?
Family's done great. Our 2 middle school boys are on their 6th and 8th grade teams, respectively, and in their seasons as well. My wife, Megan, has made so many great friends here in such a quick time. People are wonderful here in Tulsa. And I knew that from the time I was here before, but this time came with a wife and 2 kids, and they are enjoying it very, very much. Thank you.
So I don't people realize that you really started your career here as a GA, graduate assistant, on that NIT team at Tulsa's, right?
That's right. I was here in 2000, 2001, that season. Won the NIT back in 01. So many great players from that team, and so many from this region, which was a joy to be a part of. Got to reconnect with a number of them, many that live still here in this area. And that's another great thing about TU. Our doors are always open to our former players. Anybody that wants to come back, come to a game. Same with high school coaches, club coaches, and everybody else. We're very, very honored to be a part of this great community.
Glad to be with us, Coach. Eric Conkle again, head basketball coach at TU. Here's your Billy Sims barbecue. Bring the family for some great barbecue here at Billy Sims.
We absolutely will. Thank you, Chris.
And getting ready now, Angie Nelp, TU women's coach, is going to be on deck next. Stay with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene and get out there and support the Golden Hurricane.
The Tulsa Oilers are back on the ice with a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. Save big on season tickets today, 2022-23 season. Tickets starting as low as $17 per month. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers are back.
The 2022 Remington Park Thoroughbred season continues through December 17th. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Normal weekly schedule is Wednesday through Saturday. The Springboard Mile, Remington Park's top 2-year-old race that carries Kentucky Derby qualifying points, wraps the season up on December 17th. For more information on Remington Park racing and casino gaming, visit remingtonpark.com.
My name is Dr. Brittany Ellis. Here at Tulsa Bone and Joint Urgent Care, we treat a lot of athletes for wrist injuries, anything from sprains and fractures, elbow and shoulder injuries. Right here on site, we have the ability to do x-rays for your student athlete. We also have the ability to put them in a wrist brace or a knee brace if needed. And we have the ability to refer them to an orthopedic surgeon for follow-up care. We're an orthopedic urgent care and we have a walk-in availability. You don't need an appointment. One of the things that makes our urgent care unique is that it is physician run. We appreciate being able to care for your student athletes.
We're saying thank you, T-Town, for voting us Tulsa's best with $250,000 cash at Hard Rock Tulsa. Join us Fridays and Saturdays in November to be one of 24 players to win $10,000 cash. Earn entries daily at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa.
Well, you heard from the men's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa. Now it's ladies' time. Angie Nelp is back in her second season as the head women's basketball coach at TU with a massive trophy behind her. Congratulations, Coach, on winning the Mayor's Cup over Oral Roberts this past weekend. Let's talk first about that game. Wow.
Yeah, what a game. Wow. And thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. You know, so excited about this year's team. And I don't know if any of you had a chance to come out and watch our game, you know, against Oral Roberts. It was a great game, and our team played really, really well, and we had great balance, and we scored a lot of points, so it was a lot of fun.
And boy, you led from start to finish. That really was impressive.
Yeah. You know, Oral Roberts, first of all, you know, Coach Kelsey's going to do a great job there. They have a great program. It was a very competitive game. Yeah. You know, at the end, we ended up, you know, on top and was able to hold on to our lead.
Tara Poindexter led 5 scores in double figures. What balance?
She did, yeah. Tamira had a great night. Her ability to just score inside and out, it is truly amazing. She's very, very talented. And then we had a balanced attack. You know, Delaney Crawford had a career night.
Sophomore.
Yep, she had a career night for us, and then we had very balanced scoring with Caitlin Levings and Array Young also, and Maddie Biddle too, reaching double figures.
And Caitlin and Array are also newcomers, right? As well.
They are, yeah. So we have a great group of returners. We have 7 returners, and we have 7 newcomers, and so we've just had a lot of fun this year, kind of getting the team to gel together, and practices have been really competitive.
Well, Angie Nelp was one of the big stories of the basketball season of 21-22 for the University of Tulsa and really across the nation. What a job you did the first season, 17-11, and took this program to the second round of the WNIT. First postseason appearance in 7 years, most wins for a TU team in 8 years. Accomplished a lot in your first season, Angie.
The players accomplished a lot in that season. You know, all the credit goes to them. We had a team that just works incredibly hard on the floor, and for them to be able to have those rewards last year, it's something I'm really grateful to be part of that experience. And I think it really kind of just throttled them and pushed them into this next year. You know, we had Maya Mayberry and Maddie Biddle decide to come back and have used their extra year of eligibility to play. And I think, you know, that season last year made them hungry for more. So we've had some great practices and some really good moments with this team this year.
I remember last season too. What an incredible start! An all-time record for the University of Tulsa, 10-0 to start the season. Wow.
They did a great job. They did. You know, there were so many of those games early last year that were closer games and that were on the road for us, and we really had to be road tested, you know, in our Thanksgiving tournament last year, and just them coming together to overcome that really helped them gain some confidence going into conference play.
Tournament time coming up again. You guys will make a trip. Let's talk about what's coming up next for the Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, we have a trip out in California. We're going to go out and face Long Beach State and then South Carolina State over in San Francisco over Thanksgiving. And we're excited for this tournament. We get to go in and play back-to-back games and have back-to-back preps, which we think helps us a lot when it comes to maybe our conference tournament.
And you're on the road for Thanksgiving.
We are on the road for Thanksgiving.
Who's cooking for your husband and the boys and stuff?
That's a good question. So actually we're having the team over to the house. We're going to celebrate our Thanksgiving just a little bit earlier.
Very good. All right, then we're going to come back. You have another game with South Carolina State on the 26th, and then at Duquesne on December the 1st. Then finally, some good home games in December for TU fans.
Yeah, we've got a good stretch. We have 4 home games prior to Christmas to be able, I think our first one coming back from this tournament, and then we have 1 game on the road. It'll be December 4th at 1 o'clock at the Reynolds Center.
That's Lindenwood. That's on the 4th. And on the 8th, Prairie View A&M. That is a 11 a.m. start. That's one of the kids' games,
That is.
maybe?
Grab your coffee, get your breakfast, and come on over to the Reynolds Center. Who wouldn't want to do breakfast with a lot of screaming elementary kids? We're so excited for that game.
Central Arkansas makes a trip into the Reynolds Center on December the 11th. That is another early 1 p.m. game. And then a trip up to KU to play the Jayhawks from the Big 12, right?
That's right. Yep. We'll head up to Lawrence and get road tested on December the 16th.
back on the 19th then to host Northwestern State. That is a 6:30 game for TU. So, boy, that's what, 4 games at home for December?
4 home games,
Well,
and we
great.
end on the road right before Christmas down at Texas Southern.
Then get ready to start American Athletic Conference play at East Carolina on December the 30th. Then you have Wichita State coming here on January the 4th. It'll be a big game, but let's talk about the AAC conference and what's it look like for the season.
Yeah, super competitive conference. We're excited about our non-conference schedule because we think it'll really prepare us to be competitive within our conference. I do think that, you know, we have one of the best conferences in the nation, and you look at the number of teams last year that went to postseason play, ourselves included, and it was just, it was such a good thing for our conference to be able to grow, to continue to be a multi-bid league to postseason.
I don't remember the TU women ever being this ranked as high in the preseason. Number 4 in the entire American Athletic Conference, only behind South Florida, Houston, and SMU. Pretty good company.
Pretty good company. You know, we've got a lot of work ahead of us to do. Those preseason polls, a lot of times, those are based on, you know, maybe some work that you did last year, how people may project your team for this year. And we're certainly honored, you know, to be able to be picked within that company. But we know we have a lot of work ahead of us to do. There's a lot of really good coaches and a lot of really good teams in our conference.
Just before you came on, we had Eric Conkle, of course.
Yeah.
Our first season men's basketball coach. Some of your impressions of coach. He's got people really excited about the men's program.
Oh,
too.
he does. He's doing such great things here at TU. We've been able to go to their home game that they had and be able to watch them on TV. Yeah. I will say my kids are fans, huge fans. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's going to do great things. And he is just, I mean, he is the kindest person. And he's been, you know, he's just reached out and been so welcoming, even though he's the newcomer here. He just helps everybody when he can.
Have a great trip out west.
Thank you.
Enjoy Thanksgiving. When you come back, bring the kids. Have some Billy Sims barbecue on us as our
Will
guest.
do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And how do you do it with 4 children? My gosh, Angie.
An amazing husband. I will say that. Yes, an amazing husband.
We're going to come back and talk with a specialist from Tulsa Bone and Joint. Dr. Kevin Dukes joins us. We're going to talk shoulders injuries, shoulders rehab. If you want to know about shoulders, he'll take care of it for you. All that coming up on Oklahoma Sports Scene. And again, get out there to support the Lady Golden Hurricanes here. I'm Coach Angie Noe. Right back.
The 2022 Remington Park Thoroughbred season continues through December 17th. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Normal weekly schedule is Wednesday through Saturday. The Springboard Mile, Remington Park's top 2-year-old race that carries Kentucky Derby qualifying points, wraps the season up on December 17th. For more information on Remington Park Racing and Casino Gaming, visit remingtonpark.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Caleb Nelly with Tulsa Bone & Joint in Owasso.
And I'm Dr. Ian Goodman with Tulsa Bone & Joint in Owasso, and we are your team physicians for the Owasso Rams.
I'm Zach McGinty.
I'm Kate Grady.
I'm Dexter Millsap.
And we are the athletic trainers for the Owasso Rams.
Here's some of the services that we provide in the Tulsa Bone & Joint Athletic Training Facility.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene here at the Billy Sims Barbecue in the Farm Shopping Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The medical professionals at Tulsa Bone & Joint have been a big part of our show throughout the fall here. We sent some outstanding physicians and surgeons over here to talk to us, and another one has joined us here today. Dr. Kevin Dukes is coming in from Oklahoma Bone & Joint. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
We go back a few years, you said you remember?
I grew up in Tulsa. I remember watching you when you were doing the sports.
Channel 8?
Yeah, when I was just a kid.
Get that a lot. You remember coming out and covering a Tulsa Blue Daubers, right?
Right.
Model airplanes and remote airplanes, and did a story on that, and you were one of the pilots, I guess?
No, I was just a child watching. I was enamored with it for sure.
A child. I get that a lot now. Well, thank you, Doc. Make it feel. Give us some of your background, and it's very impressive, including I saw a name here with Dr. James Andrews, Orthopedic Sports Medicine, American Sports Medicine Institute, Birmingham, Alabama. That's the guy that really has kind of set the standard heading in the surgeries. Dr.
Andrews is a pioneer and just the kind of a godfather of sports medicine. His his achievements are innumerable.
Tell us about your specialty, though, at Tulsa Bone and Joint.
I do a lot of sports medicine. I focus a lot on shoulder injuries.
Let's talk about the shoulder, because it's one thing you hear about a lot of injuries, and of course some catastrophic ones, some minor ones. You bought a model here. Tell us what we're looking at here, Doc. Hold this up here. And
this is just a model of the shoulder. This is the clavicle. Most people think that is the collarbone. This is the humerus bone, and people think more of it as the ball and socket joint, and this is the shoulder blade or the scapula.
What injury do you see most on the shoulders now in athletics?
The most common during football season, we either see clavicle fractures or AC separations. The other things that we frequently see are shoulder dislocations, where the ball will dislocate away from the socket.
Any way to think about preventing this, or any kind of, what are some suggestions just for the weekend athlete too?
Well, unfortunately, there probably isn't a lot we can do to prevent it. There are some shoulder harnesses, but those are usually used after the fact to try to prevent re-dislocations. But the athletes these days are so well conditioned, and the coaches do a great job in the off season of training, and that's about all you can do.
Well, I know that I've had my issues with the shoulders as well too, and it is such a key part of the whole body that to keep everything together with you.
Very much so. It's a complex little joint, and I think that's what makes it so interesting.
You also specialize on hips, I understand too, right?
Well, back in the day, as I've gotten older, my practice has matured and become more focused.
Yeah.
So there's other docs in our practice that do a little bit more of that.
Give us a sense of how big Tulsa Bone and Joint is. That campus just amazes me. I go to like 3 different centers there, and how many physicians on staff?
We're a little over 30 docs now,
right.
And with providers, we're probably, with our physician's assistants, probably around 40 to 45.
Well, I really appreciate too about Tulsa Bone and Joint. You're really involved in the community and with a lot of our sports teams in the area here too.
Yeah, we're very honored to take care of a lot of the large schools of Wausau and Broken Arrow. We take care of Bishop Kelly and Cassia Hall.
I tell you, they do a great job with that, and all the physicians here, and I know the coaches really appreciate it too. Again, getting back just the average guy thinks he's hurt his shoulder or something, what are your suggestions? Is it heat? Is it cold? Give them different things.
We call those the weekend warriors.
Yeah, exactly, that's us, yeah.
In general, ice is much better. Ice decreases the whole inflammatory reaction. We want to minimize the swelling, minimize the pain. And the studies show that icing also decreases the pain level.
I remember the old days of football, in my old days, you come off there with, think your arms, and the guy'd have a baseball, put it under your arm, and give you a quick pop there to throw it back in.
Really?
That's not part of the treatment anymore, I guess?
No, I don't think we do that too much anymore.
That's amazing how far medicine has come, especially sports medicine.
It is amazing. I've been in practice coming up on 30 years now, and just even in my short career, it's remarkable how technology's changed everything from the MRIs and how much better we are at diagnosing injuries, how much better we are at treating injuries without surgery with different rehab techniques. And then the surgeries themselves, the technology is really improved with there as well.
I'm just amazed that the arthroscopic surgeries especially are so not nearly as invasive as they used to be, right?
100%. I'm old enough that I can still remember where we did a lot of those surgeries through incisions. And now I look back at those surgeries and I'm amazed at how we used to do it. And the surgeries are so much better now.
And you're doing surgery through a microscope, right? Really?
Correct.
Yeah. Give us an idea of how long would it take to put a shoulder back together or something? My gosh.
A lot of it's dependent on the injury itself.
Right.
I mean, probably the average surgery of a rotator cuff, someone that's maybe an older athlete, that might take us 45 minutes to an hour if it was fairly complex. Something simple, maybe 30 minutes.
Then the rehab?
I say it's outpatient surgery, people coming in and going home the same day. I typically start the rehab about 10 to 14 days after surgery. I like to let things kind of calm down. And then usually it's twice a week for probably about 4 to 6 weeks.
Once again, is Dr. Kevin Dukes with Tulsa Bone and Joint, specialist in shoulder surgeries. And, you know, I've had both knees replaced, and people have told me that the toughest from a rehab standpoint is not the hip, not the knees, but the shoulder.
I hear that frequently as well. And it's very dependent on the person. Some people cruise right through it, and some people it's a little bit more challenging for them. But I think in general, maybe the shoulder is a little bit more difficult.
Again, here's the guy to take care of you. If you have any shoulder issues, go out to Tulsa Bone and Joint. Dr. Kevin Dukes here. This is for you from Billy Sims Barbecue. Come back and enjoy some Billy Sims Barbecue on us as guests of Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Thanks, Chris. It's good to see you again.
Thanks for the memories.
Yes.
7 years old. Appreciate that. Come back with my 2 cents worth. Stay with us.
The 2022 Remington Park Thoroughbred season continues through December 17th. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Normal weekly schedule is Wednesday through Saturday. The Springboard Mile, Remington Park's top 2-year-old race that carries Kentucky Derby qualifying points, wraps the season up on December 17th. For more information on Remington Park racing and casino gaming, visit remingtonpark.com.
You did it, Tulsa. You name the team. We name the team. You name the team. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com to get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast pace, helmet hitting, pad popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
What happens when Rumble of the Oklahoma City Thunder takes on the two fellas and a big vehicle team on the court? They should leave it to a professional. And when it comes to moving the Thunder and all of Rumble's stuff, he should leave it to the professionals.
We got this. Let the pros from two fellas take it from here.
Time to get to the racetrack in Oklahoma City. It's time for our Remington Race Report. Here to bring it to us, their announcer, Dale Day.
Mid-November racing at Remington Park usually means an extended fall with temperatures in the 40s and even the low 50s. However, this year, winter decided to jump the line. Heavy snow started to fall right before the opening race on Friday, November 11th. And they're off in the snowy Friday opener at Remington Park. Snow that was supposed to stay in western Oklahoma reached Oklahoma City about 15 minutes before racing was to begin on November 11th. Claiming company going a mile was visible for the camera and to call the race to a certain point. As they cut a path into the snowy main track, going on 4th right now and wide is With the Band. Then Holy Vow. Gaining to the outside then is Shades of Victory in the trailer for a moment. Big Money Machine quickly moving up. 9 lengths front to back as they go to the backstretch, opening quarter mile in 24.63 seconds. And Limbo's Promise shows the way by about a half length over Got Mojo. 5 furlongs to go. Limbo's Promise has made it over to the rail to try to save ground. Neck advantage over Got Mojo to the outside is Justin's Omen. Shades of Victory battling in 4th right now with the Band. Big Money Machine is 6th, only about 5 from the front with a half mile to go, and the trailer is Holy Vow. Opening half mile in 49.14 seconds as the field makes it to the far turn. Still Limbo's Promise there with 3 furlongs to go. Over Got Mojo by about a half length. That pair has a little separation from the runners after that, as we think Justin's Omen is still in their 3rd as they approach the quarter pole, and basically I see snowflakes. 6 furlongs, a minute 14.64 seconds. Somewhere toward the top of the stretch, there's a field of 7 making their way into the straight. Once we can see them, we'll tell you who's towards the front. And there they are with the 16th to go. Shades of Victory has emerged with the lead. It's Shades of Victory on top of the final strides, cutting through traffic somewhere to get the victory by 3/4 of a length. The gray Shades of Victory emerged with the lead after disappearing into the snow and prevailed to win over Big Money Machine, who was 2nd. After the opening race on November 11th, the snow tapered off and racing was more normal. Monday afternoon on November 14, more snow flurries arrived late in the card, not with the impact of a few days earlier, but setting a nice snow globe scene for a couple of races for the fans late in the day. Temps and weather are expected to warm as we move past Thanksgiving and into December. The racing schedule after the holiday is Friday and Saturday, November 25 and 26 at 7 p.m. Then we go Wednesday through Saturday for the remainder of the season, going November 30th to December 17th. In Oklahoma City at Remington Park, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
Hey, before we leave you on Oklahoma Sports Scene, I want to take a look at some of the activities coming up at the Cherokee Nation's Hard Rock Casino and Resort. Free concerts. They have the new Warner Brothers recording artist Trey Landon playing a free 10 p.m. concert. That's at Track 5 after Travis Tritt's show in the Hard Rock. That's on December the 3rd. Hitmaker William Michael Morgan has another free concert for you at Track 5. That's December 9th, 8 p.m. And once again, our annual Track 5 Fest returns in February. They'll celebrate 5 years of Track 5 concerts for you. By the way, at the Hard Rock, tickets still available for the following big shows at Hard Rock Live into the year, including Travis Tritt, December 3rd, Martina McBride, December the 16th, the Eli Young Band on the 28th of December, and the 90s House Party starring Tone Loc, Color Me Bad, and CC Music Factory, all on December 30th. Reserve your tickets now at HardRockCasino.Tulsa.com. Well, my Lincoln 2 cents worth has to do with my favorite holiday. It's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, all. It is truly the guy's favorite holiday. Think about it, guys. Thanksgiving. No cards, no flowers, no gifts. We just eat and watch football. Is that the best holiday ever? I'm looking forward to it. You should too. Here's the holiday menu of Thanksgiving Day from the National Football League to help our experience. The Buffalo Bills, the Detroit Lions will play the first game. That kicks off at 11:30, that on CBS. Then the Dallas Cowboys, their traditional Thanksgiving Day game. They'll be hosting the New York Giants. Two big teams in the Eastern Conference. This will be a heck of a football game. That's a 3:30 kick on Fox. Then we wind up the third of the triple header with the New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings. That's on NBC. That's on Thanksgiving night at 7:20. Looking ahead on Oklahoma sports scene, the National Finals Rodeo, the biggest event in all of rodeo, is December the 1st through the 10th in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to have the guy who calls it all for us, Jeff Metters, former colleague of mine, who, by the way, congratulations, Jeff, was just inducted into the Rodeo Cowboy Hall of Fame at a big event at the Cowboy Museum in Oklahoma City this past weekend. Jeff will be our guest on Oklahoma Sports Scene next week. We'll be doing a Zoom interview with him from Las Vegas as he prepares for all those big rounds of rodeo. Of course, it is the Super Bowl rodeo, the national finals. Don't want to miss that. And again, enjoy your Thanksgiving and be sure to be nice to the chef. Give her a nice kiss. Thank her for all the hard work she's doing, and try not to eat too fast. Plenty of time to enjoy the football as well. Again, Thanksgiving. Remember, guys, no flowers, no cards, no gifts. Eat and enjoy football. Love it. Happy Thanksgiving, all. Enjoy.